Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Jumping right into this trying new makeup, we have a full face of Drugstore, which I haven't done in so long. I usually incorporate both in my trying new makeup, but I figured, you know what, let's do a dedicated Drugstore. There has been a lot of drops, especially from e.l.f. that I've wanted to try. So I'm sure you can see from the thumbnail what I will be trying in this video, as well as things I picked up in Florida. I've seen that sunset blush trend. We're gonna be trying it all in this video, so I'm really excited for this one. We do have to do our brows today. The first thing we have from e.l.f. is this e.l.f. brow laminating gel. I've heard really good things about it, so I added to cart. Kind of reminds me of the Refi one, just off first impression because of the brush it has, and you also have the applicator as well. It does have a white cast, which typically makes me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want any residue in my brow. I really don't see anything in the brow, so that's good. Appears to dry clear. So far so good. Let's see how this dried down. Just gonna give it a little bit longer to dry down, and then we're gonna go in with my CoverGirl brow pencil, see how that applies on top. I've used that before, so I'll know whether it's the brow gel or not because I'm loving this brow pencil from CoverGirl. If you haven't tried this nano pencil from CoverGirl, it is so good. It doesn't break off like other brow pencils that are this small. Everyone that claims to be a nano pencil always breaks off on me. This one has not. And you can create really nice tiny brow-like hair strokes. So I haven't even been needing to use a brow pen with this. It's just worked out so nicely, and I love the color. It's going on top of that brow gel really nicely too. And if my eyes look bloodshot, it's because they are. That always happens when I have a cold. Last year around this time I had a summer cold, and the same thing happened this year. That's how I know, because it's on its way out of my eyes. I just put my base down before I'm going in with my eyeshadow, and I have this palette from Lottie London, which I thought would be so nice for this look. I don't think I've ever tried Lottie London eyeshadows. I might have once, but I've never tried this eyeshadow palette, and I think it's a perfect color story for summer. So I'm gonna open this up. This is the Rose Golds palette. I've been loving a gold or bronze look, and this is rose gold, so I thought it would be perfect to just go along the theme of what I've been loving lately. Taking the same Rephr 01 brush, I'm just gonna go in with this shade right here. Gonna keep it the rosy tones for today. Just gonna go into the crease with this. All I had on this brush was some powder to set my concealer. Fairly light for my skin tone. So I'm gonna go in with a different shade. And we're gonna take a step to this shade right here, keeping in kind of the neutral rosy family. We're gonna start to deepen up the outer crease and the crease of the eye with this. Again, very light in pigmentation. I thought this was gonna be much darker. So not my favorite formula, just being honest right off the bat. Blending out fine, it just lacks the pigment that I'm personally looking for. You can see that blended out really nicely. It's just very light. I'm just gonna clean up this. It's gonna create a little bit of a harsh line. Once I apply foundation, I like to just soften everything up after. I'm taking the lightest shade in the palette on that 202 we were using to blend everything out. Just gonna further soften the edges. Add a little bit of highlight. Then taking my finger, I wanna go in with this shade right here. It looks the most rose gold to me. See how the metallics are in this palette. The mattes are just a little 50-50. Lacking pigment, but they blend fine. So is this. This could go on definitely more metallic. Seems almost more like a satin sort of finish. Try adding some liquid to amp it up. Using rosy tones when my eyes are bloodshot is probably not my smartest idea. You know what? I like how that looks, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm dipping in about 3 to 4 times to get the pigment that I need. Yeah, I think 3 times. Taking an angled brush, this is a MAC 206, and I'm just gonna see how deep the deepest shade in the palette is by pressing this along my lash line. I wasn't going to do liner today, however, I just wanna see how dark the shade is considering the other shades I feel like are lacking a little pigment. Very dusty. Kind of just naturally diffuses itself. It's not very dark, as you can see. If you want a smoky liner, it kind of just gives that naturally. So that one had the most kick up in the pan, as you can see right there. Just got to clean up underneath my eye because we did get a little bit of fallout. Using my Tweezerman eyelash curler. Just such a big difference curling the lashes. If my lashes were tinted, you'd be able to tell better. I need to actually do that soon. For mascara today, I'm still testing out this pink one from Essence. It's the I Love Extreme Crazy Volume Mascara. I love this when I first tried it. So it's been sitting for a couple weeks now, and I wanted to go back and retest it because typically that's when I personally like a mascara a little bit more. I thought it would be fun to retest it with you guys, and I'm definitely enjoying how this looks. If I paired this with my Hourglass mascara, I think I would absolutely love that combo. On its own, it's nice, very volumizing. I just would like a little bit more length. It's still really good for a volume. Probably did one coat too many because it's getting borderline clumpy right now. But I did like this better now that it's dried a little bit and it wasn't as wet as it was. So I'm just gonna comb through them with a spoolie. This one doesn't look as clumpy as this one got. And then for some lash extensions, I thought these would be really pretty with the look. I haven't done a full strip in a while. I usually do half. But look how natural these look. They're really light, so I thought this would add just a little bit more to the look. They're from the My Lash But Better collection, which does really natural looking lashes from Kiss. If you're intimidated by lashes, they're a great style to start out with because they do make them really natural. They have ones that are even more natural than this. They're gonna work nicely with next to no liner. I'm just going to measure it, see how much we need to cut off. Just a little bit off the ends. It's so weird wearing a full lash strip. I'm not used to it. Probably wouldn't feel so weird if I didn't get glue in my eye. Shocker. So those are the lashes on. They're not quite on, I feel. The inner corners are slightly popping off. I'm gonna just give them time to settle in and then go back if I need to. So I'm gonna throw on my sunscreen. It's not Drugstore, but sunscreen is one of those things I don't think I'll ever switch up now that I found Korean made. I genuinely just can't see myself doing it. It's not worth the potential breakout. I'm just gonna slather this on and then we're gonna move on to the skin. I've seen this hack go viral. It's from Scott Barnes and it's using Aquaphor under your eye for your concealer. I guess it prevents creasing, I think. My friend bought this for me to test out the hack and she got one for herself as well. So I figured, you know what, let's try it in this video. I'm gonna do it before my foundation just because I tend to put my foundation up fairly high and this can, I think, clog the area. So it's not something that you would do every single day. It's just a special occasion trick, I feel. So I personally, even if this looks amazing, would not be incorporating this every single day just because it seems like it'd be really heavy for the under eye. For the sake of this video and trying new makeup, I did want to test out the hack. We have the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I cannot wait to try this. This was only $10 Canadian, $8 in the US. I got 2 shades because I wasn't sure what I would be. I got 32 medium neutral and then 25 light neutral, just depending on where I am in my tan. I hope I love this. It says medium buildable coverage, long lasting, 1% hydrating hibiscus complex. This sounds like it's gonna be the perfect foundation for me, but you never know. I've heard mixed things about this, but I'm hopeful that I love it. I really, really hope I love this. Please work. So I'm gonna start off with 32 medium neutral. We are gonna be matching the body. You can see my face is considerably lighter than my body, so we gotta match. I'm gonna use my MakeupByCheryl F4 brush, and I'm gonna use this side. Start application. My skin is looking really even prior to even putting on any foundation compared to normal. I'm noticing a little bit of redness in the cheeks, but overall I feel like my skin is looking a little bit better. I'm gonna start with this amount of product. You can see the consistency right there. It is on the thicker side. It's actually blending out a lot more than I thought it would. Thought it would be more coverage right off the bat. We're gonna build this up. I'm gonna do one side of the face first. It feels hydrating. Feel like I might need a lot of this though. Everyone's skin is different. My skin likes to eat product. I'm gonna try and keep it away from my under eye area. Normally I bring it up a little bit higher, but I wanna see how my concealer and stuff lays. That's just one side of the face. You can see very light coverage so far. I'm going to just start building up both sides of the face and do a second layer all over everything to see where that takes us. 32 is actually the perfect shade match for me with a little bit of self-tan. Here I wanted to say hi with her flapping of the ears. Now let's start building, see if we can get coverage to those areas. I don't expect it to be full coverage. We'll go back with concealer, but still want to build this up, build it to a medium coverage. I love the packaging, love the squeezy tube. As I thought earlier, I do feel like I'm using a lot to cover my whole face just because my skin, with this type of formula, because it feels almost like a moisturizer, my skin eats this kind of formula up. This might be actually oxidizing slightly on my skin as it dries down. That often happens with me with e.l.f. foundations. They can pull slightly orange, so I feel like their undertones for me haven't been perfect. That's why I bought 2 colors just in case. As this is starting to dry down, I do feel like this is a touch more than satin. It looks more hydrating on my skin at least. I wouldn't call this satin personally, as I do have a lot of shine still on my skin. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more time to dry down. I'm gonna go in with my concealer now, see how that lays on my under eye area. I'm not using anything new for my concealer just because I wanted to test out that hack and see how my normal concealer lays. I thought that would be best for this video and the test. And then we will go in with a new powder on the face. So just going to do my normal concealing using my Hourglass concealer brush to blend it out. That actually does look better than normal. I'm kind of shocked about that. I've seen it work for people, but I just didn't expect it for my under eye to look that seamless. Hopefully it doesn't give me milia. It does lay beautifully on top of that. Love how my concealer is blending in with this foundation as well. And it's feeling better as it dries on my skin. Before, it felt a little bit heavy, but it's because it almost feels like a moisturizer. So my skin kind of has to take that time to absorb it. I don't know if it's getting less shiny as it dries. I still feel like it's a touch more than satin. I don't feel like this is a typical satin on my skin. This might ruin everything, but I'm willing to take a chance. Typically I would apply this underneath my concealer. However, I'm just gonna do a little bit over and in the inner corner to see if this brightens up the eye area. Just because I wanted to test how my concealer worked on top of the balm, and now that I know that it goes on really smooth and looks really good, even before even setting, it looks good. I'm going to just do this reverse for this video, but this is the Revolution Magic Eye Bright Corrector in light to medium. I picked this up when I was in the US. You can get Revolution at Shoppers, I think. I used my Becca under eye corrector in a video and I loved how it looked. I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush and brighten up this inner corner. Definitely probably have to do that under just because it is very hydrating looking and I don't like that look underneath my eye. I just don't like radiant underneath my eye. You can see that kind of changed the texture. Now that we're going to do powder, it's going to all correct itself. So I am going to just use my Charlotte Tilbury in light underneath my eyes, and then I have a new powder to set all over the face. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, and it has a luminous finish, which I, as I said, don't like underneath my eyes, so I'm going to keep it matte with my typical. Look at how a matte finish just looks so much better for my under eye area. Everyone's different, but I always like to show just my preference because it will cancel out all that hollowness by making it more matte. So I currently just powdered underneath the eye. You can see still that finish from the foundation, and I'm gonna go in now with the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. Purchased this, I've never tried it. I had a couple people on videos recommend this to me for powder to test out. I was already on e.l.f. getting all the latest, and I decided to throw this in the cart, and I saw that it was one of the best sellers on e.l.f. So I have high hopes. I hope this is kind of like my Hourglass Vanish powder, which is the loose one, which I love because it has that soft focus kind of finish that this suggested also has. So we're going to apply this to the rest of the face. I'm going to use a big fluffy brush. It's telling me to pour powder in the cap. Almost looks like the Hourglass one. I'm going to take this big BK Beauty 105 brush, and then I'm going to start setting the face. I love the finish it gave my hand though. That's really pretty. This is setting the foundation without taking away that glow. This is kind of the finish that I was expecting the foundation to be on its own. but I'm loving the powder. So thank you for the recommendation. It's really pretty, as I said. I love the finish of that. It doesn't have any glitter in it. It just has a sheen, which is so beautiful. For bronzer, I'm going to use my Lottie London one that came broken. It's in Suncatcher. I really liked this when I tried it. I think I would have liked it more though if I hadn't altered it with all the alcohol I put in it to smash it back together. But I just want a light bronze to the skin. As you can see, this looks really natural on my skin tone. Nice and smooth as well. Just want to start off with a little bit of dimension back in the skin. That's actually perfect for this foundation color. Really love that. And then the next part I found from a girl on TikTok. This is super popular right now. I will tag the original person in the description box though, but it's the sunset blush trend. So I got the exact colors that she used and I tried doing it directly on the face like she did. It was way too pigmented for me. So I'm gonna put each of the colors on the back of my hand before I go in and do this technique just because it is so intense, these two colors. So I have the Coming in Hot Pink and the Gorge Orange from e.l.f. And then I got this from Lottie London, which I thought would be really pretty for the gold highlight. And it's the Cheeky Glow Liquid Highlighter one. It's more pleasing when you see the person put it directly on the skin and then blend it all out for that gradient sunset blush look. However, it's just way too much for my skin tone, so I need to put it on the back of my hand first. Starting with Coming in Hot Pink, I'm going to take the same foundation brush we've been using, and I'm going to start with the pink on the back portion of my cheekbone first. And this is so pigmented. This will do both of my cheeks. Absolutely. Maybe even be too much. So I'm going to press it into the bristles of the brush. You can see already how pigmented that color is. And then I'm going to lightly go on the skin. And then if I need to, I'm going to blend it out with the side that I have no product on, which I thought this brush would be really nice for this. So I have the ISO turned down quite low so you can see the color, the texture of my skin. It's also not too bright out today. And of course you can make this even more dramatic if you want. I personally don't like too heavy of a blush. If you follow my channel for a while, you know. I do love blush. I just like it lightly applied to the skin. So now I'm gonna go in with that orange. Just a dot again. I don't need the 2 dots on my cheek. Beautiful color there. But if I went in with all that on my skin, it'd be way too much for me. So just going to start doing that gradient. You can see the orange fades into the pink. It's kind of cool how it shifts like that. I love the technique. I think it's so pretty for the summer. This is like the Charlotte Tilbury packaging. So I'm just gonna open it up, squeeze it until it starts coming out. Again, I'm putting this on the back of my hand first so we can work from there. Let's just take a sponge. It's just still coming out. I don't understand what's going on. The whole top part exploded. I've had one of these before that never happened, so I'm not exactly sure why that happened here. I can't even put the cap back on because the thing exploded that much. I hate wasting product. All of a sudden, we got really overcast. We got that gold shift with the orange and the pink. Gorgeous, and maybe I'll just throw this on my legs. I don't even know. That thing actually exploded. Had to supplement with a little bit of light. Was not expecting it to be overcast today. For lips, I have 2 products I haven't tried before. I have the NYX Retractable Lip Liner in Nude, and then one of these CoverGirl Yummy Glosses in Sunshine Rays. I've tried this formula before, but not this color. I love these retractable pencils for my purse. It almost reminds me a little bit of Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna fill in the whole lip with this. The formula is really creamy. It's a very light pink pencil, but it does remind me of Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. So now I'm just gonna top it off with the Yummy Gloss from CoverGirl, and this is plumping. This is just a sheer color. Well, pretty sheer. Has like a light pink to it. I love how this smells. I like how my under eyes are looking without anything. But I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of mascara. a tiny bit. I'm back. Here's the completed rose gold sunset blush look using all affordable makeup. I had so much fun filming this, and I definitely discovered some new products that I really enjoyed. Also, some that I didn't like so much. Starting off with my sunset blush, I feel like I could make this punchier, absolutely, so you can actually see more of the definition of the colors. However, that's not my preference. But I feel like for me, if I were to do those two distinct colors, I just would have to do something not so pigmented like this. This would be fantastic for those with deeper skin tones. Just for my skin tone, I think I need to bump up to a little bit lighter, maybe go for a peach and a lighter pink, just so I can have those two definition of color. Otherwise, it looks really messy on my skin, which is what I noticed when I initially tried to do this. So I think the technique is really pretty. I just think personally I need some lighter colors for my skin tone. But if you're deeper, check these out. I love the formula of the e.l.f. blushes regardless. So I do think it worked. It's really subtle though. And I'm going to play around with the technique some more and just try and find my best colors. So if you're similar to my skin tone, let me know what you've been using for the sunset blush trend. And also for a gold highlight, I would just pass on this Lottie London one because I remember trying to use this before. It's closed, but it just keeps leaking. It's like exploded inside. I have no idea what's going on because as I continue to leave this, it's just getting messier and messier. So I don't know what happened there when I was trying to squeeze out product, but that definitely was a product fail. And just while I'm talking about Lottie London, I have two products here. The eyeshadow palette, I'm going to see how this wears. It's very soft. I love how it blended. It just doesn't have the pigment that I'm looking for, but if you're looking for just a soft rose gold look, it does look pretty. It gives that soft look. So nothing too intense there. So both positive and negative for that. And then also this bronzer I've actually really been loving from Lottie London. I wish it didn't break. It's the shade Suncatcher, but I've been using it still, and I love how subtle of a color it is on my skin. It gives me just enough and doesn't look muddy or patchy or anything like that on my skin. I've been really loving that bronzer. For brows, you already know I love my CoverGirl brow pencil, so I'm not going to talk about that. And then this e.l.f. Illumination Gel. I really like it. I think this is going to actually be a staple in my collection because it didn't leave any sort of cast. It isn't hard at all either, but my brows are in place. I always struggle with this little hair here. That's kind of with every brow gel for me almost, that just naturally putting on my makeup, I always mess up my brows at the end. So I think I just need to seal my brows at the very end of my makeup because I always mess around with them during application. But overall, for a brow gel that's affordable, I would recommend checking this one out because it worked out really nicely for me, and so far so good. These lashes, super natural, really pretty. From Kiss, the My Lash But Better. I've used a different style before on my channel before, but I'm liking these. I'm having issue with them sticking on my inner corner, but I think that's just a me problem. I have this Essence mascara that I've let sit for a little while. I am liking it better this time around. I did actually like it the first time I tried it, but I figured it drying out a little bit would work even better, which it definitely did. I found a lot more volume once it had that dry down. The Aquaphor technique for underneath my eyes. I don't think my under eyes have ever looked better. Granted, the Charlotte Tilbury powder is a little yellow and making it look slightly odd right in between the colors. That's only because this foundation shade is so neutral, which I really love the tone of the foundation. So apart from just picking a wrong tone for my under eye, which is my fault, you can see that this looks smooth underneath the eye. So only special occasions, because I feel like that would clog the area. But so far for the e.l.f. foundation, I know there's people who love and hate this. Right now, I think it looks really pretty. So I'm really excited to keep playing around with this. As I said, I didn't lock it down because I did not want to see how the setting spray would affect it. Also, I didn't use a primer because I also want to test how long this wears on my skin. So we will see, but right now I'm loving how it looks, and it does feel set on my skin. It doesn't feel like it's moving anywhere. Then we have this Makeup Revolution eye brightener, which I'm going to test underneath my concealer next time. I don't really have a thought on that so far. It seems really similar to the Becca, but I didn't feel like it did too much for me today. So I'm going to keep playing around with that. We have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder, which kind of blew me away, if I'm to be honest. Thank you so much for recommending me pick this up. To whoever recommended this powder to me, Thank you, thank you, thank you, because I think this is going to be an affordable option to my hourglass, which I was looking for one from the drugstore, so thank you so much. And then for my lip combo, this is really pretty, super easy, no lipstick, but just a really easy, everyday sort of pink glossy lip. I mean, this, I want to compare side by side with Pillow Talk because it's reminding me a lot of Pillow Talk from NYX, and then I really love the Yummy Glosses from CoverGirl. This is just a new shade for me, which I thought would be really nice because it's more on the clear side. It doesn't have too much pigment, and I just wanted this to really top off anything. I kind of love a color like this, just to add that little bit of gloss. These are super glossy, slightly plumping, not too much color, just really adds that finishing glossy touch to the lips. And I think that's everything for my products. I don't think I missed anything. So let me know how you liked this full face of drugstore makeup products. Typically I like to incorporate both high-end and drugstore into my videos, but if you do like a full-on dedicated drugstore, I can definitely start to pull some products aside to do these more often. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tons of e.l.f. in this video. They've released a lot that I wanted to try, so I did place a fairly large order from e.l.f. to get all these products for this video. We tried a bunch of different viral techniques in this video as well. It was just a really fun trying new makeup and techniques for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, for spending some time with me today. And if you have not already, I'd absolutely love for you to subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.